Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video, doing European Outlook for today's second video. So as always, on a Thursday, we have a detailed look at the weather for next week, 10 days across Europe, and I'll get on with that for you in a moment. Just to say that the first video release today was our 6 AM UK weather forecast, and it's a 10 to 14 day with all operator features coming up for you later on as well. So please like, share, subscribe on all of today's bits and content. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. Right, okay, let's start with the situation across Europe today. So we've got a ridge of high pressure through the central and eastern parts of Europe, and low area of low pressure in Scandinavia. More low pressure coming in from off the Atlantic in towards the UK and Ireland. And then of course very slack gradients as we always get this time of year down across southern parts of Europe. Upper air temperature looking very hot through Spain, Portugal and into Mediterranean and North Africa as well. Go further northwards though, and the upper air temperatures are quite a lot cooler across northern and western Europe, and it's hotter though over on the eastern side of Europe. Precipitation wise, we look like this. So heavy rain coming in through Ireland and western parts of Scotland, both England, Wales, mostly dry with sunny spells. Then we've got some showers and some longer spells of rain through Scandinavia, especially southern parts of Sweden, but also back into Norway as well. Some heavy showers and thunderstorms around the Baltic Sea states of Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, especially in eastern portions. They extend down into Belarus as well, and some of those that go south of that in towards Poland and the western border with Ukraine. Further south of that, there's more showers and thunderstorms scattered about through the Balkans, into parts of Greece, and some big showers and storms over the Alps. But much of Germany, the Low Countries, Belgium, Holland, Netherlands, and down into France, Spain, Portugal, mostly dry, except some thunderstorms over the Pyrenees. Temperature-wise, it looks like this, hot across much of southern Europe, as you expect in early July. Also hot on the far eastern side of Europe, but much cooler further northwest, especially cool over Scandinavia. So of course it's very warm June there, but things have cooled down a lot for much of Scandinavia and back into Norway as well over the past few days. Well, on into tomorrow, Friday, we're going to find high pressure strengthening across central and western parts of Europe. Low pressure out to the west of the UK and Ireland will combine with the high pressure, start pulling up hotter air from the south through many western parts of Europe. See how the upper air temperatures are becoming hotter. The heat dome, of course, starting in North Africa, extending into Spain, Portugal, pushing up into southern parts of France as well. And that heat extending through France and into southern parts of Germany. Cooler up over Scandinavia, though perhaps a little warmer than it is today. Also becoming a bit warmer across Ireland and the UK as well. Those upper air temperatures lifting up. Looks hot over on the far eastern side of Europe once again. Precipitation wise, it looks like that. Lots of dry weather to come tomorrow across many parts of Europe under that area of high pressure. What rainfall there is going to be across Scandinavia in the form of showers and or longer spells of rain, so those pushing over Baltic Sea into Finland. And then we find some heavy showers and thunderstorms on this far eastern side of Europe from the Black Sea up to the southwest of Russia. Could be some storms and showers into the Balkans as well, but anywhere west and south of that, lots of dry weather to come, mainly dry through Poland, Germany, into the Low Countries, France, down to Spain, Portugal. Just one or two scattered showers and thunderstorms. Of course, we have got this band of heavy rain threatening into Ireland, and it looks like most of that will hold up through Friday itself, but much of the UK looking very dry as well. A hot day to come across much of Western Europe tomorrow, from Spain and Portugal into France, the Low Countries and Germany. Temperatures widely lifting up into 30 Celsius, won't be far off 30 degrees in the southeast corner of England either. Go further north of that, it's a bit warmer across Scandinavia, but not as warm as it is further south, but it is warmer than it will be today. And then over on the east side of Europe, again, looks very hot there through much of the eastern part of Ukraine, towards the Black Sea, for example. And of course, the Med will be hot again tomorrow. On into Saturday, high pressure dominates across northern central parts of Europe. Lower pressure starting to come into the far west of Europe from off the Atlantic Ocean. Upper air temperatures again looking really hot as we push down into the Mediterranean. So we've got the Balearic Islands, of course, and Corsica and Sardinia, and also eastern and central parts of Spain looking very, very hot there. Some places going up to 25 degrees at 858 kp plus 20 Celsius above, making it into the far southern part of Germany as well. Of could lift temperatures into the mid-30s Celsius through there. And that heat even extending up into all parts of the UK and the Low Country as well, though not, of course, to the same degree. Further northwards of that, actually looks quite cool across northern and eastern parts of Scandinavia, and a little bit cooler down the eastern side of Europe as well. Lots of dry weather under that area of high pressure. We will have some big thunderstorms in the far eastern part of Europe, and showers and storms are possible through Ireland, the UK, and just into the northern part of France as well. But that said, under the high pressure, most places will be dry, sunny, and also really hot on Saturday. So yes, we've got Germany and the Low Countries going into at least the mid-30s Celsius, possibly even hotter than that. Eastern parts of France also looking very hot. Spain, Portugal as well. Most parts of the bed looking really hot too. Even into east parts of the UK, we'll probably be at or a little bit above 30 degrees. About Ireland and Scotland will be significantly cooler. And the heat just about makes it to Denmark and the far south of Sweden. But the rest of Scandinavia looking quite a lot cooler there on Saturday. High pressure dominates across Scandinavia and much of Central Europe on Sunday, although low pressure again is trying to come in from off the Atlantic into the western portion of Europe. Again, the upper air temperatures are not going to be a very hot weekend through large portions of Western Europe, through Germany, through the Low Countries, through France as well. Temperatures will be into the mid-30s Celsius, if not higher than that, actually. And it gets even hotter than that when we come down into the Mediterranean. At the same time, though, cooler, fresher air coming off the Atlantic in towards Ireland and also the UK. And some of this heat is starting to push up into Scandinavia as well. So Denmark becoming significantly hotter, as does southern parts of Norway and Sweden. Over far northeast of Europe, actually looking quite cool there through Finland and down into the Baltic Sea states. Lots of heavy showers and thunderstorms being triggered by that heat through eastern parts of the UK, and particularly into the Low Countries and also the far west of Germany as well. Sunshine and showers probably for Ireland and the far northwest of France. The rest of France, Spain, Portugal looking mostly dry, sunny and very hot. And then anywhere east of this area, or this cluster of thunderstorms, anywhere north and east of that, going to be mostly dry, sunny and hot, until we run into these storms on the extreme eastern side of Europe. And temperature wise, again, it looks really hot there through the western part of Europe. That heat increasingly perhaps starting to push into more central portions of Europe as well. But the core of the heat is again through Germany and eastern parts of France into the Low Countries. Temperatures could easily be into the mid-30s Celsius, if not the upper 30s Celsius there. That heat extends up through Denmark and southern parts of Scandinavian Peninsula as well. Temperatures above 30 degrees, but look, but it is cooling down through the UK and Ireland again as the wind starts coming back in from off the Atlantic. And again, we see most of the Med looking very hot, especially anywhere from Italy westwards back to Spain and also Portugal too. On into Monday, low pressure developing to the southwest of the UK and Ireland will be starting to move in from off the Atlantic. At the same time, that ridge of high pressure over Scandinavia and Central Europe is beginning to break down. The upper air temperatures are very, very hot across southern Europe, and that heat perhaps starting to be squeezed just a little bit further southwards and eastwards. So now we see Italy coming into the heat, and over the Adriatic to the Balkans as well, starting to become much hotter through there. But at the same time, the Low Countries, Germany and parts of France begin to show a cool down. And of course, Ireland and the UK looking rather cool with those upper air temperatures, very warm over Scandinavia. Precipitation looks like that, so got some showers or some longer spells of rain through the UK, through Ireland, and just approaching the northwest of France. Heavy showers and thunderstorms pushing through Norway, Denmark, eastern parts of Germany into western Poland, and some storms over the Alpine regions as well. But otherwise, lots of dry weather in the north and northeast Europe and most of southern and eastern Europe looking mainly dry as well. And temperature-wise for Monday, it looks hot through many western and southwest regions. Spain, Portugal looking very hot with those temperatures, and that heat extending in southern parts of France, Germany, and also Poland as well. Very warm across Scandinavia. And notice the heat is beginning to move towards more eastern parts of Europe as well, but cooler through the UK and through Ireland too. Low pressure comes in off the Atlantic into Ireland and the UK through Tuesday. Looks quite unsettled there under that area of low pressure. At the same time, the higher pressure of a ridge is being pushed more towards the east side of Europe. The upper air temperature look hottest in the south, and the east of Europe coolest out in the west. Still pretty warm over Scandinavia. Lots of heavy rain across the UK and Ireland on Tuesday. a proper old wet and windy day, and so that extending into the Low Countries and also northern parts of France. Well, thunderstorms kicking off over the Alps, also with some showers, maybe some thunderstorms in towards Norway. The east and northeast parts should remain dry, and most of the Med got remain dry as well. Very hot with both temperatures across much of Europe on Tuesday, but the far west and northwest will be significantly cooler, particularly notably so for the UK and Ireland, where we will have that wet and windy weather. Low pressure then starts moving from the UK and Ireland into Scandinavia on Wednesday, so back to unsettling cooler weather into northern Europe as well on Wednesday. So hot with the upper air temperatures across southern Europe, that heat increasingly being squeezed further southwards and eastwards as the north and west of Europe shows a cool down, showers and or longer spells of rain, maybe with thunderstorms mixed in across the north and the west of Europe as well. Thunderstorms over the Alpine regions, or 1 or 2 breaking out in the far eastern portion of Europe as well, but much of southern Europe looking mostly dry, sunny and hot. Temperatures look hot across south Europe and up the east side, but cooler out to the north and the west. And then on into Thursday, low pressure is dominating across the north and the west of Europe, so the upper air temperatures will be relatively cool in the north and west of Europe. Again, we see most parts of southern Europe looking very hot with those upper air temperatures, though further showers and longer spells of rain across Scandinavia, back to the UK and Ireland, some wet weather coming in towards France as well. Further thunderstorms breaking out on the eastern side of Europe, much of southern Europe, including the Mediterranean, looks mostly dry. That's where the hot temperatures will be in the south and the east of Europe, always cooler further north and west. And I'm just going to run you on to day 10. So this is Friday, 17th of July, again, and a trough of low pressure across the north and Western Europe there on Friday, looking unsettled. And then going into weekend, the 15th and 16th of July, another area of low pressure coming in from off the Atlantic into the UK and Ireland. That will bring more heavy and persistent rain into Ireland, the UK, probably northern France, and Scandinavia remains stuck under the first area of low pressure. The south and east of that, that's where the hot weather will be across much of southern and also eastern and southeastern portions of Europe. So basically, it's becoming hotter briefly across many parts of Europe, and then that heat will get squeezed further towards the south and the east as cool, wet, and unsettled weather takes over in the north and the west of Europe. And that's European Outlook this week. If you've enjoyed the forecast, found it interesting and informative, please like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for doing that. No European Outlook next week. I'm going to be having a week away in the Canary Islands next week, so there won't be a European Outlook. We'll be back with this one in 2 weeks' time. Going to be back a little bit later on with 10 to 14 there, but for this week's European Outlook, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.